Aloha, I'm Kimo Hussey, and we've got a very, very special treat for you today. I'm with my very good friend Mike Chock,
How's it
and it's said often that when you have a very, very long project, the best you can do is to get started. There's so many wonderful, wonderful things I would like to share with you about Mike and his work, and so what we got to do is get started. Mike, first of all, you are a builder.
Yes, I am.
How long have you been building ukes?
Ooh, since about late 80s.
Late 80s. And how did you learn?
Oh, at that time there's really not too much around, so I really learned from Irving Sloane's book. And so
Learned from a book?
Yeah, I'm self-taught. I also was a general contractor, and I had a giant warehouse, cabinet shop, and a lot of time to make ukulele or guitar, actually.
Right.
So I just started into that. It took me about a year to do one because I had to figure out how to bend the wood, how to make the jigs,
Yeah. And so you started with guitars, but eventually switched to ukuleles?
Correct.
For what reason?
Oh, let's see. Back in, I think, the early 90s, a guy named Libby Vituya, he is Honolulu's district adult education coordinator.
Yeah.
And he came to me and said, "Hey, Mike, how about starting a ukulele adult ed program at the Farrington high schools?" And so I said, shoot, okay.
Good for you.
Yeah, so we did all the jigs and we started at actually Kalakaua Intermediate first because Farrington was being renovated.
Right. Cool. Anyway, when we started, I played the ending part of a song called Arirang to show people, to show you how wonderful this ukulele sounds. So you started in the 80s. Let's start with this uke first, and start talking specifically about your ukulele. So, can you tell us about this uke? And as you describe the uke, I'll turn it.
Okay.
I'll turn it for you.
Okay, so currently this is a direction that I've been taking, and the soundboard itself is a Les Stansel 4-foot cedar.
Uh-huh.
And if you notice, there'll be a koa inlay. That's a koa seed and
right
leaf,
here.
but no real sound hole in the soundboard. I'm relying on totally multi-ports on the side.
So there's
just
one
side
here.
ports. Yes. One for the player and then one more for more noise.
Here,
Yes.
instead of one big puka here.
Correct. Or a combination thereof. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm leaning toward more driving more air oscillation as a pump from the soundboard.
What does that mean in terms of sound?
Well, the whole thing on sound is it's vibration from the strings, and what you're looking at is the transfer of the sound of the string energy through the saddle, through the bridge, which actually does a back and forth, a side to side, and a rotation movement, and that in turn drives the soundboard, and they call that an oscillator. It pumps like one end of a bellows. This would be the other end, the back, and then out comes the air. But in the old way with the sound hole, it's like you're fanning laris, yeah.
Right.
So I figure if you can fan without the puka, you generate.
And so all
more
of that
air.
happens if I just go do
That's
that.
it. And that vibration just gets transferred through. Yes.
Okay. And this ukulele is tuned
That's,
GCEA.
Actually, no, that's the barry, so DGBE. Yeah.
Well, this is the baritone.
Yeah, that's the
Okay,
barry.
so D, G, B, E.
Yeah.
No wonder it had kind of a wonderful mellow sound.
Yeah, it's a little lower. Than
Okay, so anyway, the top is Port Orford cedar.
Yep.
The sides and back.
Sides and back are koa, Big Island.
Cool.
The bindings are just rope binding. I make
That
my
you
own.
made?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And the frontboard would be ebony.
Ebony.
Yeah, Madagascar.
Mm-hmm.
And it has, we're trying these little mini Goto tuners, which are a little dicey, but we've been doing that anyway just to try it out.
What makes them a bit dicey?
It seems to, as you tune up, there's points in the tuner itself where there's nothing. It just slides. That you can turn and no movement.
Oh,
So
I never
it's
heard
just
that.
a little bit irritating. Yeah.
Cool. One of the things I'd like to mention with regard to this ukulele, because I'm holding it, is the action. When we talk about action and playability in ukuleles, it's a function. It's a function of basically how easy it is to play the ukulele. Does it take fighting on the part of the player and a strong hold in order to play this ukulele? And with this ukulele, it does not. It is so easy to play and to hold, even if it's bar chords like this or like this. And holding down 4 strings is not a problem. And while we're at playability, it's very close to sound. And this being a baritone uke has a nice mellow sound. One of the other things I notice about this ukulele is sustain. Sustain has to do with how long the sound lasts when you play the ukulele. So, let's switch ukes, Mike, and tell us about this uke.
Okay, same concept. That is probably a Sitka spruce top.
Okay,
It has no sound hole puka.
just like that one, but this one's oval,
Yeah.
the oval shape.
And the oval shape is just designed to keep your eye and pretend it's a ukulele with a sound hole.
That's
pretend
cool.
it's a rosette. Yeah. And
Mike,
then-
this one has a different design.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you can pick up in sound, but this particular ukulele, the interior, which you cannot see, is based on the new Taylor Sonic V. So
Right.
the bracing is a little different. This, with the telltale bridge shape, which is like a bell, that's indicative of the Kasha style bracing system.
Right.
And this one is a Kasha braced system.
Okay, and this one also has like the double
Yeah,
side
still
ports
has the
on
double
the upper
side
bout
ports. Right.
instead of the puka here.
Right.
So back and sides.
Back inside your koa, these little guys are actually bamboo segments inlaid and resined. That
Oh,
was
cool.
that was to actually mask a couple of wormholes. And so if you did to one side, you might as well do the other
That's
to keep
neat.
it symmetrical. So I did that both on the backs and on the sides, and actually,
here.
yes. And then I did it for the actual fake rosette. Yeah.
Oh, so strum on that, uke, Mike. Very good. So you can hear the difference between
can
a
hear the
tenor
tonal.
and a baritone uke. Let's try and play something together. What would you like to play?
Okay, I can play
You
not
wanna
too much, but okay,
play
we'll
this?
switch, and we'll play this.
Hallelujah. Once more. thanks, Mike.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, a Mike Chock baritone, a Mike Chock tenor. So let me put this down here. I'll tell you what, we'll let's trade places with this guy. Mike, tell us about this guy.
Okay, so this is an old ukulele, maybe about 15 years ago. But at that time, we were trying the same concepts that I'm continuing now in the present, which means no sound hole, a side port only, and this is a takeoff on a pineapple shape, but cutaway.
And this just has one side port.
Just one side port.
No room on this one because it's got
For the cutaway. And the reason for the cutaway was because I wanted to make an ukulele with access to 2 octaves, so 24 frets. And so this helped you get down to the 24th fret. But what's also interesting on this is this, if you look at the bridge profile and you look at the saddle, it's not a continuous saddle, it's separated.
separated here.
Yes. And the end piece for the bass string or 4th string.
This one?
Yes. I had it specially made into an oval where I could put a notch right on the lower side. So if the notch is on the lower side, the angle is down like this, and I can put a low
For a
G
lower
string
string.
on.
For here.
Yes, for the low.
So if you were to take it out and turn it and put it
If
back
I turn it around, the notch would be now
for
facing.
the high.
Yeah, and then you get a high G, and so you don't have to make a different guitar.
Yeah.
You can just switch the saddle around.
Why did you put such a long neck on this thing?
Oh, just because
for
I figured
fun.
I can, just for fun. It's a 23 3/8 neck, 5/94
From here to
scale.
here, 23 inches.
Yes, 23 inches.
Wow.
And to put the strings on, these are actually Berkeley fluorocarbon strings, fishing line.
Fishing line.
You start about 100 pounds going down to about 50 pounds to hold the diameters. And they've been strung, like I say, for 15 years at least, never taken off, but they still hold.
I want to play just a little bit for you on this ukulele, but before that, I want to tell you something that's very, very special. Mike alluded to, but I want to tell you again. This ukulele is about 15 years old.
Yes.
These strings are just as old as the ukulele, right, Mike?
Yeah, they all go together.
Okay, and yet, listen to this sound. Listen to this. 15-year-old ukulele, 15-year-old strings. And all this ukulele has been doing is just hanging.
Yes, in the case.
To, or I should say for, an ukulele player, the wonderful thing about this ukulele is, number one, you have a baritone. It's a baritone sound, it's a baritone tuning. If you had a capo, and I'll use my finger as a capo, put it on the 5th fret, you have a tenor ukulele. Tenor ukulele.
Yes.
Strum that. So you see, in one instrument, we have a baritone, capo the 5th fret, and we have a full-size tenor ukulele as well. What does that mean? It means that I can go down here and play this. Or I can go up here and play it. Or I can play this. Or I can go from here. Same thing. So I've played that an octave, and I'm on and I'm on the mid fretboard, so I can play this. And it looks like in the C position. Well, I can also play up here. I'm here. Up here is an octave above here. There's that octave. So I can go. And it's amazing to the player. What this does is provide wonderful, wonderful range. So 23 inches from here to here, you have a baritone ukulele, capo the 5th fret, or learn some very simple bar chords, and the action on this uke is just wonderful. From here and here beyond, a full-size tenor ukulele. So we started this with a part of Arirang. Let me end with it as well.
Well, Kimo, let me interject one.
Go ahead. Sure.
One thing I forgot to say, why the ukulele being so old, it's important because the tie-in is that this was made just around the time that Ukulele Guild of Hawaii got started.
What year was that?
So we got started in the year 2000, and because of the guild, you want to share information and share ideas with other builders
Right.
and players.
And you founded the guild.
Yes, I did. And this is a result of sharing to the builders, for me, different ideas that were new at the time, which would be the string through, the universal saddle, and the side ports.
Oh, this ukulele is timeless.
So that's pretty interesting, and that's the value of the guild, where you can just come in and whatever experience level you are at school, we will share. Yeah.
And so the guild was started in 2000.
The year 2000, yeah.
It's about 20 years old then.
20 years old.
One of the wonderful things about Mike that you bring, I guess, to ukulele and to the guild is that you are an excellent, excellent teacher. And the teaching and building ukes are completely different disciplines.
Two different animals, yeah.
Yes. Teaching and running an organization and founding, two different separate disciplines.
Animals, yeah.
So good for you. And all of that results in this.
Hopefully, yes. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, play a Hawaiian song. Remember the name Mike Chock. Wonderful ukuleles, Mike. And thank you, your
guys.
contribution to ukulele.